Hey y'all, it's Dee Martin, your trusted real estate expert in Tyler, Texas, and today I want to talk to you about what it really costs to live here, from groceries to housing payments, so you'll know exactly what to expect if you're thinking about making a move. So, we're talking about the cost of living, and in Tyler, the cost of living is 6 to 11% lower than the US average. So, that's pretty cool. But what that means here is that housing is about 13% less expensive than the national average. Groceries run about 4% cheaper. Utilities are a little bit higher. They're about 8% above the average. And transportation tends to be slightly less expensive. So overall, your dollar stretches further here in Tyler than it would in many other parts of the country. And let's talk about what are homes selling for. Let's get into the housing market a little bit. According to the Greater Tyler Area Association of Realtors, the average home price across our region is about $365,000. The Smith County median is $317,000. Realtor.com backs that up with Tyler's median listing price at about $365,000, and Redfin shows that the median sales price is a little bit lower, around $310,000. That's with Smith County overall. They've got Smith County has Redfin at $338,000. So Tyler, they've got 310. Smith County, they have 318. So the real sweet spot in our market is somewhere between $310,000 and $365,000. But I will tell you, there are a lot of homes in our area that are under $300,000 that are great houses that are move-in ready in safe, clean, nice neighborhoods that you can find. So even though those median and averages are higher, just know that if you're moving from somewhere in the country that is super expensive, there are some pretty reasonable homes in Tyler, Texas below those averages that you can find and move into. And we've got some of them listed right now, so you should check out our listings. When we're talking about prices, we need to consider neighborhoods, of course, because it varies by area. So Midtown is kind of toward downtown, and it is one of the more affordable areas, and they're averaging housing prices in that part of town is about $195,000. Southeast Tyler runs closer to the 365, Southwest is closer to 410, and if you're looking in a neighborhood like Holly Tree, which is really kind of in the center of town, it's got a country club in the neighborhood. The average there is, or median, is really about 442. So whether you're looking for a starter home or something on the higher end, Tyler has a wide spread of options. Now let me tell you this, if you're looking for a high-end $1 million plus home, there are plenty of those, some with land, some that are in country club neighborhoods, some that are in high rises. I mean, we've got all kinds of prices in Tyler, from very low to very high, and we can kind of accommodate any type of buyer. So keep that in mind. We've got it all. So what does that monthly payment look like? So here's the part that most people care about. What's my payment going to be? On a $310,000 home with 20% down at 6% interest. Now keep in mind, right now we're at about 6.5% interest, so this is a little bit low on the interest side. I mean, for what we're going with, we're going to use this example, but interest rates are a little bit higher than this, just a little bit right now, so keep that in mind. But your principal and interest is about $1,500 a month. So on a $365,000 home that same scenario with 20% down at a 6% interest rate comes in at about $1,750 a month. Now, of course, you have to consider property taxes and insurance when you're considering the payment, and that is going to vary depending on the neighborhood, the sales price, the value of that particular home that the county has given it. So you have to keep all these things in mind. But the property taxes in Tyler average 1.5%, 1.56%. So that's about somewhere between $400 and $475 a month. That's going to be your taxes that you're going to be paying on that payment. And your homeowner's insurance runs about $100 to $150 a month on average. And so, and that's average. It could be a lot higher depending on your plan. It could be lower if you get some kind of discounting thing. I mean, who knows? But it's going to be based on your house, and there's a lot of factors there. So these are just numbers to throw at you to kind of give you an idea. So your real all-in monthly housing cost looks something like $19.90 a month on a $310,000 home, or $23.75 a month on a $365,000 home. So it's still very affordable compared to housing prices in big cities. When you're thinking about buying a home, something you need to consider are the closing costs and any extra fees that might come up. So buyers usually pay 2 to 6% of the purchase price at closing. On a $310,000 home, that's somewhere between $6,000 and $18,000. So that's a chunk of money. And on a $365,000 home, it's $7,000 to $22,000, somewhere in there. So again, you have to consider the money that you're going to need for closing costs and think about that up front and start saving and planning for that. And other things that you might consider are PMI. So you'll have mortgage insurance on your payment if you're not putting 20% down or more. You'll also have HOA dues. So if you live in an HOA, you may not, and that's great. But if you do, if the house you love is in an HOA and you're really good with that, then you're going to have monthly HOA fees in addition to your payment. And at closing, there could be fees associated with that, like a resale certificate or a transfer fee from transferring from one buyer or owner to the next. So you have to consider that, and that depends on the neighborhood. So those are some additional potential costs at closing. And then of course, as you're buying a house, you're going to have an appraisal fee, an inspection fee, and title company fees. So there's just some additional costs that you need to keep in the back of your mind and be aware of, and talk to your agent about, talk to your lender about. Make sure you understand all of that when you start the buying process. And in some areas, you could have a random home that needs flood insurance. So that is an additional cost. And we don't have tons of flood zone houses that are built in flood zones around here. But that's just something to keep in mind that could potentially be an additional cost for you. So what is the bottom line? Tyler's cost of living is below the national average, and homes here are still incredibly affordable, with most payments falling between $2,000 and $2,400 a month for a solid house in today's market. And again, we have lots of older homes that are in great areas that are even cheaper than those averages. So keep that in mind. We can kind of cover the gamut of, manufactured homes to mansions, farms to, high rise. So we've kind of got it all in Tyler. So if you are thinking about moving to Tyler, Texas, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. The people on my team would love to help you. We can run some numbers and find a home that is the perfect fit for you. And hey, if this has been helpful, like, subscribe, share, post it somewhere. We would really appreciate that. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.